Okay, so today's topic is methods of selection, and this is one of the most important topic in animal breeding, and this might come as a long question in 8 marks in the externals or internals. So let us start this. So there are 3 methods of selection. There are 2 terms, bases and methods. There are 5 bases and 3 methods of selection. So first method of selection is tandem selection. So there are 3 methods: are tandem selection, independent culling level, and total score or selection index method. So first is tandem selection. Tandem literally means one after the other. The literal meaning of tandem is one after the other. So what the definition applies to the same meaning. Here selection is practiced for one trait, say x1, for a number of generations up till a satisfactory level of performance is achieved for x1. Okay, what is the meaning of this tandem selection is that since tandem means one after the other, so in tandem selection what we do, we practice selection for one trait. We will choose any one trait, say x1, we have chosen a trait which is x1, and we will perform the selection for that trait for a number of generations until a satisfactory level of performance for that x1 trait is achieved. And once that is achieved, then we will move on to the trait x2 and then x3 and so on. So what is this summary here? Here selection is at a time is performed for one trait only, ignoring all the other traits. So this is the most important point. So this definition and this, all the points of this notebook are important. Now the single advantage of tandem selection which makes it somewhere useful is that it is the simplest method which involves only one trait at a time. So you have to focus only on the one trait at a time. So that is why this is the major advantage of this method. Now it also has a disadvantage. So what the disadvantage is as follows: to determine the number of generations for the selection of each trait. See, it takes many generations to reach a satisfactory level for a single trait when we will look at a single trait at a time. So that is why this is a disadvantage. So because of this disadvantage, we should consider those traits. We should select those traits first which have the highest economic value. Okay. Next is independent culling level. So first was random selection, second is independent culling level. So in independent culling level, what happens here, a minimum level of performance which is called as a culling level is fixed for each trait, and the animals that fall short of the minimum standard for a particular trait are culled regardless of their performance in other traits. So what is the meaning of this statement? It means that we will fix a minimum level of performance that is called a culling level, and then it is fixed for each trait, and the animal we will choose an animal, and if the animal is falling behind for that one trait, because of the culling level for that one trait, then that animal is culled. No matter what, how good that animal is how good that animal is in other traits. So that is the advantage of independent culling level. That is the definition of independent culling level. ICL, it is its standard abbreviation. So there are merits and demerits. So merits are it is cost effective and it is easy to apply, operationally easy. But the demerits are no compensation for exclusive merit in one trait. It means that we might reject or cull the animal with higher superior genetic merit because that animal is not able to reach our standards for one single trait, the culling level for one single trait. So that is its disadvantage. Third is total score method or selection index method. So here we assign weights to each trait, and then we take 2 or more traits of an animal, and then we add the value assigned to each trait, and then the animal with higher total score or selection index is retained or selected. What is the meaning of total score or selection index method? Here what we do, we assign weights. We have learned about weight arithmetic mean. So that same weight here. We assign weights to each trait, and then we take 2 or more traits of an animal. We will assign value to each trait, and then we will take 2 or more traits of an animal, and then we will add the values of those 2 traits or more traits of that animal, and that value is called total score or selection index, by the way, and the animal with highest total score or selection index will be retained or selected. So total score or selection index is represented by capital I, so that is equal to b1 x1 plus b2 x2 plus bn xn, where I is total score or selection index value, b1 b2 bn is weighing coefficient, and x1 x2 xn is performance records, basics. And advantages of total score method are that since we are considering many traits at a time, 2 or more traits at a time, so thus the economic returns are maximized. We don't have to wait for a very long duration so that we might get the economic return, because we are looking at various traits at a time. Okay.